Brian Vander Meulen. I am currently with Keller Williams, Arizona Realty, out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and I've been licensed since 2004.
Awesome. To you, what's the difference between more standard real estate brokering or deals that are made and exchanging?
The primary difference is, in my opinion, would be client counseling, understanding the client's needs versus just taking a property to market and expecting somebody, sticking a sign out front, expecting somebody to just drive by and buy it.
So, what is counseling?
Counseling is trying to understand the client with what are their needs versus their wants versus what's possible, asking them what they like to do for hobbies, learning more about them in general as a person, because in our realm, real estate is really a people business. The product just happens to be real estate.
Why is it different? Why do exchangers do counseling but others, maybe some other real estate brokers don't?
Most people, I would say most agents that don't know better or haven't been educated in a matter of anything different than the traditional real estate school is, you have a buyer, you have a seller, you get a loan, you put money down, you finance the property, and that's the end of it. You wait for the next referral, hopefully.
Okay, right.
Yeah. In the exchange realm, the understanding the client's needs is, can I give you an example? Recently, I've got a client that is a commercial client, and most of my business is 90% commercial, hardly ever any residential stuff. Well, they weren't getting serviced properly, they felt, from the residential referral client that gave me the client, so they asked me to handle the business for their acquisition of a personal property, even though I'm handling their business needs as well. So with that, I was looking at $1,350,000 house. They wanted no HOA, and they wanted some certain things with the house and all the stuff that goes along with it. And rather than just go, okay, here's something in a shopping cart or off a shelf, here's that widget, whatever you wanted, and here's the price, as long as I get paid a commission. That's what most agents are worried about. How are they going to get paid? If they take themselves out of the picture and worry about their client instead, they will always get paid, 99.9% of the time. Remove yourself emotionally from the transaction and help to do whatever's best for your client, and then you deserve to get paid, and to get paid well. In this particular transaction, I've negotiated this house to $1.2 million, and I negotiated it fully furnished with the boat, the 30-foot speedboat on the side of the house, and that is going to be my bonus. So not only do I get paid a commission to help this client buy the house, the seller knows he's going to give a blank title to my client, and the client's going to immediately transfer me the boat, which I'm not paying tax on. I'm not paying my broker a commission fee on. Now my broker knows about it. I'm still getting paid a commission, and all of my typical income comes out of the commission. Taxes come out of the commission. This is just a bonus and transferring title, but that's understanding the client's needs and understanding the seller's needs. And that particular agent said, if you can do whatever you need to do to satisfy my client's needs, feel free to ask those questions. So I got permission from the agent first to counsel their client. It's certainly a niche, and in my office of 400 plus agents, I'm one that thinks creatively. And in fact, a couple hours ago, my broker called me because another agent in the office has a client with a potential trade. They called me for advice and said, okay, how do we do this? And in their particular situation, their client has a $600,000 condo in Mexico, and it's free and clear, so it's the same as money, wants to use that as a down payment on a $1.5 million house in Arizona. So theoretically, instead of selling a $600,000 house and taking a discount for $500, paying commissions, probably getting $400 to $450, now you're taking out all that loss, you're trading it at full value as if you have cash. It's the same as a briefcase full of cash. You're just trading asset for asset. You know, you like Ferraris and I have Lamborghinis, let's just trade keys. We don't have to go sell it for a discount, pay tax, or sales tax, all this. Not that we don't want to pay our taxes, but there's ways to do that are not getting adversely paying extra. And yet most agents would think that's how things are done because that's how I get paid a commission check.
Right.
They don't understand they can make more money if they just would think a little bit creatively and think of their client's needs and benefits, not their own.
Why do you think exchanging hasn't caught on?
45 or 60,000 people just in Phoenix alone have a license. maybe 10 people might do exchanging, if that, because they're too worried about today. They're not worried about features and benefits of what could grow their career down the long run. Everyone's on a survival mode, and just like high schools, the system is not teaching our kids how to manage a checkbook, how to make investments. They're teaching them how to get a job for McDonald's. That's not going to benefit them in any way, and yet that's what's being taught. So in real estate, they're only teaching the very basics of a dictionary. Put a sign out, get a sale, get paid a commission, pay your taxes, and do it again. And you're living paycheck to paycheck, because as soon as you don't make those prospecting phone calls or networking to create new business, your business is dead. And why we like to invest in commercial real estate is for future value and future income and streams of income, of which we can go turn around and get something else with.
If you have another idea or like a deal that you made or that was really interesting or satisfying other than just, it being profitable.
I bought a self-storage facility with low money down, and we took over the financing subject to, and when it all came down to it, she was being prospected by real estate brokers who wanted to mark the property up well more than it was worth today and sell it on future value so they could get today's commission check, and so she could pay today's taxes when they sold the property. So they're trying to put those burdens of her taxable income, her tax debt, and his income as a commission on the future buyer, which why would anybody want to pay somebody else's bills in that manner? So I went to the lady, and she had the property 20 years. She was going to have a major tax bill if she just got paid $1 million all at once. She'd probably lose 40% of that to taxes. And I said, what do you want to do? And she said, I just don't want to show up anymore. I will give somebody the keys as long as they can take care of some of the basics and continue to pay me an income, because she needed to live off the income. And so we took it over for $20,000 down, subject to the loan that was already in her name. Had to keep it that way because it wasn't financeable with new debt because of the income had fallen tremendously. Her employees didn't care about the business. They were just milking her for a paycheck. She was behind one payment on the bank note. She was behind one half a year's payment on taxes. So we gave her a total of $20,000 down, which gave her $10,000 to pay those two back payments and $10,000 to pay some of her closing costs. And we structured the note via a master lease, that I master leased the property. So she knew that she was getting a guaranteed income every month for a period of time. She structured a seller carried second for the balance above and beyond the bank note, and for 7 years, and that's worked out pretty well. We had the property for 5 years, sold it, everybody got paid, us investors made money. Yeah, worked out pretty well.
For a layman, so like an example is, what is a seller carry? Mm-hmm. Right, that's a pretty common one, right?
Seller carry is the seller extending credit to the buyer on behalf of monthly payments, typically, or extended payments, in which would extend their taxable liability over a period of time. They get paid on the income they receive of $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month, rather than $500,000 or $1 million at one time, which the capital gains and the government's going to take 30 to 40% of that at one chunk. So okay. just like if you got your entire salary of $100,000 a year and you get paid monthly, you pay your taxes monthly, but you pay a smaller percentage on the smaller amount you receive, versus if you got one chunk at a time and paying that over one period of time. If it works as a formula, whether they have a name for it or not, that's a different story. I'm working on another transaction now to where a client has somebody has a free and clear property. They're looking to raise money. Rather than sell the property, they don't want to themselves go to the bank, because a lot of times banks don't give you a lot of flexibility. So I'm considering stepping into that situation, and I'll go to the bank since I'm younger. I will sign on the debt, give that person the money. They've just now raised the money, and I'll probably do it for a fee, and they still own the property. What it's called is I'm renting my credit, and I get paid a fee. So I don't own the property, I don't have to buy the property, I don't have to pay taxes on the property. They still get all the income, which pays for the debt. I'm putting my credit at risk, but I'm also getting a reward for that. Yeah,
But not
as long as you, the seller, the buyer, whoever you're dealing with, are forthright in what they're looking for, and that comes with asking and what's the word for it? Being inquisitive and respectfully intrusive to pull that information out. One of the things that's challenging that I find with traditional agents is if I come to you as you're an agent and you're selling someone's property, I say, what are they going to do with the money? What's their debt situation? How much is their payments? They're like, that's none of your business. Well, that's all part of the puzzle that we're trying to figure out what the picture looks like, of what they see the picture to look like. And without having half the puzzle pieces, we can't put that picture together. And that particular agent, residential or commercial, depending on how they're trained and who they work for, have no clue of putting a puzzle together.
They're working for commission.
They go buy a picture on the wall, it's already framed, it's already done. There's no creativity to it whatsoever. They don't want to go through the brain power that it takes sometimes to understand a client's needs and figuring out, what's worse than trying to sell a property for less than what's owed on the debt, unless you've had that conversation with the seller where they can stroke a check for the difference. Now you're presenting bad information because you didn't ask the right questions up front.